Evet, tekrar herkese merhaba. Bugün çok kıymetli aslında panelistlerimizle birlikteyiz. Ben şu şekilde biraz yan tarafa doğru geçeyim. Kendilerinin gerçekten çok önemli deneyimleriyle çok önemli başarılara imza atmış kadın liderlerle birlikteyiz. Ve özellikle de bugün bir yani ciddi bir pandemi sonrasında yaşanan tetiklenen dijital dönüşümle birlikte tetiklenen bir liderlik güven krizinin bir yetenek krizine dönüştüğü bir ortam yaşıyoruz. Dolayısıyla ben sözü fazla uzatmadan aslında bu çerçevede bizim liderlik güven endeksi araştırması olarak 2020'de ilkini Harvard Business Review Global Business Analytics Services ile birlikte gerçekleştirdiğimiz çalışmanın kısaca bulgularını 2020 itibariyle, çünkü birkaç kere tekrarladık, bu kadar kötü olamaz sonuçlar, böyle bir liderlik güven krizi yaşanıyor olamaz diye düşündüğümüz için tekrar gerçekleştirdik çalışmayı ve önce kısaca bir videoyu isterseniz birlikte bakalım. Çünkü kadın liderlere bu ortamda daha da farklı bir şekilde bir görev düşüyor. Çok önemli doğal eğilimleriyle, yetkinlikleriyle, farklı konularla, farklı şekillerde aslında başa çıkabilmeleriyle ve sürekli pratik çözümler bulabilmeleriyle gerçekten başka türlü çözüm oluyorlar. Tabii bundan kurumlar nasıl istifade ediyor, edebiliyorlar mı? Ya da bunda gerçekten bir kadın lider, kadın yetenek, erkek yetenek şeyi var mı? Gerçekten tartışması yapabileceğimiz bir durum var mı? Bunları biraz birlikte düşünelim istiyoruz bugün. Biraz farkındalığımızı arttıralım. Çünkü kimler kaybediyor, kimler kazanıyor? Ona ilişkin biraz daha farkındalığımızı arttırmamız gereken bir dönemdeyiz. Diyerekten ben kısaca izninizle videoyu paylaşalım diyorum. Ardından da zaten hemen Sinem Hanım'la devam ediyor olacağız.
Disruption is an unprecedented and unstoppable evolutionary force in business today. For the speed, scale and complexity of the changes unleashed, how well are your companies prepared to survive in these turbulent times? To answer that question, we asked the leaders who have to cope with all this turbulence, are you confident you have the leadership fit to face disruption? In association with Harvard Business Review Analytics Service, we surveyed nearly 2,000 board members, executives and senior managers from every major market, including CEOs. The first ever Odgers Berndston Leadership Confidence Index reveals that, across the world, only 15% of executives are confident in their leaders to deliver through disruption, which clearly leaves a large majority lacking confidence in their leaders, including the all-important CEO.
I think most organizations recognize that change is imminent and that the strength of existing leadership, and therefore the strength of the enterprise, depends on senior leaders being agile. Not just managing digital change, but learning to drive it as well.
One of the key areas where confidence really bottoms out is in the ability to find and keep the right talent to cope with disruption. In fact, it was on questions of talent that we saw the lowest overall confidence for all organizations. Having an adequate pipeline of talent and effective succession planning were particular low spots. This chimes with an earlier McKinsey study that identified similar deficits in leadership and talent. But what kind of leadership and talent is required? Is it possible to dial up confidence? We used the data from the nearly 2,000 respondents to compare confident organizations against the rest, to understand what gives them the leadership confidence and potential competitive advantage. What we found was that whilst all organizations are challenged by legacy systems and operations, it is the leadership mindset, particularly their vision and preparedness for change, which separates the confident from the less so. Boards and execs alike want curious leaders with real courage and vision. What's more, it's a leader's agility, resilience and strategic thinking that are the qualities most in demand.
Evet, çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sinem Hanım, sizin çok güzel bir kariyer hikayeniz var. 10 yıl kadar bir İTÜ'nün üzerine bir finansal hizmetlerde Yapı Kredi'de başlıyorsunuz. Ardından KPMG'de bir 17 yıl ve şu anda bütün dijital finans liderliği aslında organizasyonun en tepesinde. Dolayısıyla bütün bu durumları siz yaşıyorsunuz.
Bütün yaşım ortaya çıktı Ayşe.
çıktı. Anaokulundan başlayarak tabii. Ve gerçekten bu önemli aslında deneyimler ve bu kadar sonuçta yoğun bir geçen bir 20 plus yıl diyelim. Lütfen bize başarınızı bugüne getiren unsurları özellikle önemli kilometre taşlarına belki dokunarak, değinerek paylaşabilirseniz. Neler yardımcı oldu? Sizin tarafınızda, organizasyonların tarafında, sizin birlikte çalıştığınız üst yönetimleriniz nezdinde neler yardımcı oldu? Ve biraz öne çıkan, bizim için ders niteliğinde olabilecek noktaları paylaşırsanız çok memnun oluruz.
Tamam, çok teşekkürler. Öncelikle hikaye ve başarılı bulduğunuz için çok teşekkür ediyorum. Çok naziksiniz. Nacizane dilim döndüğünce yani benim hikayemde ben başarılı olmak adına nelere dikkat ettim onlardan bahsetmeye çalışayım. Bana göre hani başarıya giden yolda tabii herkesin biraz her yöneticinin ya da her şahsın biraz yoğurt yiyişi farklıdır. Dolayısıyla hepimizin geçtiği yollar, kilometre taşları da farklı olacaktır da. Ama bana göre en önemli konulardan bir tanesi Nobel ödüllü Aziz Sancar'ın da söylediği gibi çalışmaktan geçiyor bana göre. Çalışkan olmak gerekiyor. Yani evet tabii şans faktörü önemli. Tabii ki doğru zamanda doğru yerde olmak önemli. Tabii ki sizi destekleyen, size kuvvet olan ekibinizin olması, yöneticilerinizin olması çok çok kıymetli. Bunlar başarıya giden yolunuzu kısaltan faktörler ama tek başlarına sizi başarıya götüremeyecek faktörler. O yüzden ben hani bu yolda bir tane en önemli şey bana söyle deseniz ben çalışmak derim. Gerçekten çalışkan olmak, bir şeyleri başarmaya gayret etmek, sebat etmek, öğrenmeye çalışmak diyeyim. Yani en önemli herhalde bugüne kadar da yorulmadan, sıkılmadan ki ajandalarımız o kadar çok değişiyor ki sürekli çalışacak yeni konular çıkıyor. Dolayısıyla hep çalışmak derim. İlk sıraya da onu koyarım. İkinci bence hani benim hayatımda yapmaya çalıştığım bir konu sorumluluk almak. Yani sorumluluk önemlidir ya da sorumluluk alalım demeyeceğim. Buna birazcık farklı bir noktadan ben bakmaya çalışıyorum. Hani tartışılan bir konudur. Sorumluluk alınır mı, sorumluluk verilir mi? Diye. Ben hep sorumluluğu alan tarafta olmayı tercih ettim. Yani prensip olarak hep bunu belirledim. Bana çalıştığım yöneticiler de sorumluluk versin diye beklemedim. Hep ben daha proaktif yaklaşıp yani burada şöyle bir şey var, burada ben sana destek olayım mı? Bu tarafı çekip çevireyim mi? Ben buranın sorumluluğunu alayım mı diye birazcık elimi taşın altına koymaya istekli oldum. Pişman olduğum günler oldu mu? Olmuştur tabii. Hay Allah nereden de bu taşın altına elimizi koyduk dediğimiz günler oldu mu? Olmuştur. Ama eğer hani başarıya giden bir yol varsa ben hep yöneticilerimle de yani sorumluluk vermesini beklemeden sorumluluğu alan tarafta oldum. Bu tabii hani artık ben de yönetici olduğum için ben şahsen bunun hani benimle çalışan ekipten de böyle sorumluluk alma isteği, motivasyonu görünce çok mutlu oluyorum. O dönemlerde hani ben de yöneticilerimle çalışırken böyle benim o motivasyonumu gördüklerinde ne güzel ben hani birine sorumluluk vermeden o sorumluluğu almak istiyorlar. Ne mutlu bize bakış açılarını ben de şu anda ufak ufak yaşıyorum, görüyorum. O yüzden bana göre ikinci öne çıkan konu herhalde oydu diyebilirim. Üçüncü bence benim hep yapmaya çalıştığım şey biraz da sorumluluk almakla da alakalı sanırım. Farklı şeyler yapmaktan keyif alıyorum. Yani söylenmeyen bir şeyi söylemek, yapılmamış bir departmana geçip öyle bir departman kurmak gibi. Sizin de söylediğiniz gibi Ayşe Hanım hani 10 sene bir bankadaydım. 10 sene tabii çok az bir zaman değil. Hatta burada genç arkadaşlar var. Yani emeklilik zamanı gibi geliyor olabilir onlara. 10 sene çok büyük bir, uzun bir zaman. 10 sene sonra hani bankadan çıkıp masanın bir başka tarafına geçtim. Tabii ki kariyerinizi sıfırlamıyorsunuz ama başka bir iş yapmaya başlıyorsunuz ve bu zor da gelebiliyor. Yani nereden şimdi sıfırdan yeni bir şey yaratmaya geçtim diyorsunuz. Ama işte KPMG'ye geçtiğimde önce bir Information Risk Management diye bir ekip kurduk. İşte orada bilgi teknolojileri, süreç denetimleri, danışmanlıkları yaptık. Sonra işi yani ben girdiğimde 7. kişi olarak girmiştim o ekibe. Ekip ben ayrılırken çok sevdiğimiz bir başka şirket ortağıma devrederken 90 kişiydi ve çok daha farklı işler yapıyordu. Sonra işte şimdi Fintech, dijital finans dedik. Gene sıfırdan bir ekip kurduk. Yepyeni bir yapılanma ile bir şey yapıyoruz. Bu dinamizmi, bu motivasyonu sanırım ben seviyorum. Ve bu yeni şeyler başarmak da bir süre sonra insana farklı da bir başarı hissi yaratıyor. Herhalde hani bir başka öne çıkan nokta benim için o diyebilirim. Tabii hep başarıdan bahsettik. Çok uzatmıyorsam 2 tane daha ufak şeyim var. Başarı dedik. Tabii yani hiç mi başarısız olunmuyor? Hep mi doğru kararlar verdim? Değil. Çok da başarısız oldum. Çok düştüm. Ama sanırım önemli olan noktalardan bir tanesi yılmamak, yıkılmamak, işe küsmemek, yöneticiye küsmemek, arkadaşlarınıza küsmemek, kalkmak ve yola devam etmek. Tabii ki hani gittiğiniz yolda eğer düşüyorsanız yolu da değiştirmek lazım. Aynı şeyi sürekli denememek lazım. Yani dersler çıkartmak lazım ve hani bir hedefiniz varsa o hedefe kilitlenip hani buradan gittim olmuyor, sağdan gideyim, soldan gideyim, üzerine zıplayayım ama oraya gideyim gibi yılmadan, yıkılmadan mücadeleye, yola devam etmek. Son olarak da çok bence önemli, siz de birazcık şeyden de videodan da etkilenerek söylüyorum. Ben biraz da şanslı taraftaydım herhalde çünkü bu süreçte bana çok şey katan mentorlarla da çalıştım. Yani gerçekten halen de çalışıyorum. Çünkü bence nereye gelirseniz gelin her zaman birilerine bir şey danışmanız lazım. Yani ben hani woman on the top olduğu için söylüyorum. En tepedeyim. Öyle gördüğüm için değil kendimi ama en tepedeyim. Artık kime ne danışayım gibi bir nokta değil bu. En tepeye de gelseniz bana göre illaki birilerine bir şey danışacağınız zamanlar olacaktır. O yüzden ben hep ona inandım ve bugüne kadar da beni çok destekleyen kişilerle çalışma fırsatı buldum. Halen de birlikte devam ederim. O yüzden sanırım hani nacizane bir başarı varsa ortada, hani benim başarıya giden hikayemdeki dikkat ettiğim konular bunlardı sanırım.
Çok çok teşekkürler. Birazdan bu güven krizi, yetenek boyutu, ona ayrıca o zaman değineceğiz. Evet. Pınar Hanım'a o zaman hemen zamanımızı çok iyi değerlendirmek üzere. Pınar Hanım, bizi duyabiliyorsunuz.
Duyabiliyorum. Siz nasıl duyabiliyor musunuz beni?
Kesinlikle.
Umarım
süper.
çok bağırmıyorum.
Süper. Yok, çok gayet güzel. Pınar Hanım'ın tabii kariyeri çok daha farklı. Kendisi halihazırda JP Morgan'da dijital müşteri hizmetlerinden sorumlu global başkan, değil mi Pınar Hanım? Ve fizik üzerine ve fizikte PhD üzerine Brown'dan ardından çok farklı yapılarda aslında, yani hem akademik tarafta farklı bir aslında deneyim, girişimcilik tarafında deneyimi var Pınar Hanım'ın ve Londra'da, değil mi, ağırlıklı bulunuyordunuz son yıllara baktığımızda. Dolayısıyla bambaşka bir deneyim görüyoruz Pınar Hanım. Sizin bu aslında yolculuğunuzda sizin başarınızı getiren unsurlar neler oldu? Bize Karayipler'den ne mesajlar verebilirsiniz? Başarınızı getiren unsurları biraz daha detaylarıyla bazı noktalarında anlamamıza yardımcı olabilirseniz. Tekrar çok teşekkürler oradan katılabildiğiniz için.
Çok teşekkürler. Tekrar kusura bakmayın. Background belki çok fazla büyük. Nasıl yapacağımı da bilemedim. Fazla bir güneşli. O yüzden bir şey söyleyemeyeyim daha fazla. Ben
kıskandırmayın bizi.
Evet, aynen oradan.
Burada daha güzel.
Evet. Ben Sinem Hanım'ın söylediklerine eklemek istiyorum. Çünkü söylediği birçok şey benim için de geçerli. O yüzden yani onlar da tartışılacak bir konu, yani tartışmak zaten hiç değil de aynı konular. Ben onların hepsinin altına ismimi yazabilirim aynı şekilde. Belki biraz daha farklı yani ekleyebileceklerim. Ben geçmişimde de görebilirsiniz ki, yani umarım zaten gözüküyor olması lazım. Genelde her şeyi bir misyon için yaptım. Yani her işimde şöyle bir misyona hedeflendim. Mesela bir işe girdiğim zaman onunla ilgili bir tane vizyon kurdum. Genelde de o işler açıkçası daha önce olmayan işler. Yani ya benim vizyonumla yaratılmış işler ya da benim bir yarattığım işler. Bir şekilde öyle çevrilmiş işler oldular. Yani bunun kötü yanları da var, onu söylemeliyim. Çünkü bazen İnsan okey şimdi ne olacak veya bir iş yaparken sürekli acaba bundan sonra ne olabilir diye düşünmenin bir takım zaman şeyleri de var, daha zor yanları da olabilir. Ama her zaman bir misyona hedeflenme gerektiğini düşünüyorum. Bu ne demek? Mesela gidip işte bilmem ne şunu yaparsam promosyon olacak gibi misyonlar değiller bunlar. Genelde şunu yaparsam bir farklılık yaratacak ve ondan sonra o şunu etkileyecek, bir etkisi olacak, büyük bir etkisi olacak. Marketi değiştirecek mesela. Yeni bir yol açacak o alanda. Başka kimsenin yapmadığı bir olay olacak. Öyle bir misyon her zaman kurdum. Her iş yaptığım iş için, şu anki yaptığım iş için de dahil. Yani mesela bu konuyu işte müşteri hizmetlerini kimsenin yapmadığı gibi yapmak bir takım teknolojilerle. Ondan önceki her işime tek tek bakarsanız aynı şeyi göreceksiniz. İkincisi bu biraz Sinem Hanım beni bu konuda şimdi düşündürdü daha fazla. Sorumluluk almak konusunda genelde takımlarımdan da veya birlikte çalıştığım insanlardan da açıkçası beklediğim ve kendimden de her zaman beklediğim yaptığınız işi gerçekten yapmak. Hani gidip de çok çalıştım, şunu çok şöyle sırf çalışmak değil, sonuca daha yine fokus olmak. Bu da misyona biraz benziyor ama misyonun biraz daha değişik noktaları var. Yani yani projeleri sırf proje olsun diye yapmamak. Hatta ben senelerdir daha çok şey tartışmasını yapıyorum. Proje kafasından daha çok ürün kafasına dönmek. Gerçekten bunun etkisi ne olacak yaptığınız işlerin. Ondan sonra üçüncü söyleyeceğim, biraz da kısa keseyim çünkü buradan biraz zor olabilir. Gerçekten meraklı olmak.
Pınar Hanım, sizin için de daha kolay olacaksa isterseniz İngilizce devam edelim. Şu anda audience'ımızda çünkü yabancılar varmış. Biz de onu tam bilemiyorduk. Please, if you could continue in English.
Okay.
Sizin için daha kolay olacak.
Okay, this is even harder. Okay, just intrinsic curiosity and being curious, really being curious about what you do and going to first principles about what you do. These are all connected in my mind. So those are, because the curiosity is important because curiosity actually brings the next ideas and the next mission and really understanding deeply what you are doing, but not everything that you are. You don't need to understand everything that you are doing, but you need to understand the fundamentals of what you are doing, and then be able to really zoom in and zoom out. And these are the type of things that are actually common to probably product mindset. I think it's also common to design mindset that I'm actually seeing. And frankly, from my perspective, as I see my entire career as a continuum, it's actually really connected to my education as well. Because tackling with hard problems, having a big vision, being curious about it, having open-ended questions, being comfortable with open-ended questions, and being able to really digest it to smaller pieces. Those have been, very helpful to me. But the overarching, I think, item is three things that I really would like to emphasize are being mission-driven and purpose-driven, perhaps. Like they are a bit different, but they are connected, I think. And really mean it what you do, mean what you do, not do it for the sake of doing it. And third one is really being curious. And one thing that also, when I was listening to Sinem Hanım, I was thinking about was the failures. I mean, again, I also had many of them, like lots of agony and, okay, I need to solve this, and how do I get out of this? Maybe I didn't do the right thing quite, those kind of thoughts. And for that, I think that one of the things, for example, for me has been, I don't stay in the state of failure for a long time. I try to get out of it somehow and not be upset about it and so forth. It's just, again, the same similar sentiment as Sinem Hanım's. And one maybe specific thing is if you are too mission driven, because I noticed that recently about myself, it's easy to sometimes miss the clues around. and which may lead to failure. The reason I'm making this point is because I know you have lots of entrepreneurs in the audience. That's also a very common mistake for entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are usually mission-driven, and I think being perseverant is important, and going at something is important. But on the other hand, being able to read the clues at the right time in the right way is also equally important. So I would really recommend that to something to take away.
Thank you so much. That was great. So we could say that drive is definitely one point. Again, like from your what you have explained is mindset also. Clearly, what you explained. Thank you so much. So we will come back to the challenges, but now we have Meral Hanım with us, and she has a totally different career and great accomplishments. And so Meral Hanım, thank you for being with us, and you have had a significant time in banking, financial services. Then it was probably the starting of the pension funds, and then insurance, and you have different board responsibilities. So what is the view from the top, from the different sectors? Not only financial services. Obviously, you are now covering quite a big, actually broad range of industries. So can you please share your experiences? What has helped in your case? But please don't repeat luck. We don't like that. Because clearly luck is something we have created with hard work. As we always say, 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So please, what was your secret formula?
If I may start, I can say love is a good start. If you love what you do, or do what you love. This is my, if I may say, mission or slogan, let me say. Because otherwise, if you don't like or if you don't love what you do, it's very easy to understand. The third parties can understand that you don't love it, you don't like it, and you'll be not the one who will survive in that kind of an environment. Then if you don't choose to be there, they don't choose you to stay there. That's the first step, I may say. The second related to that one can be positive thinking. It's, I'm sure you hear this a lot of times, very frequently, and I know it's not easy to stay positive at each stage, at each level, every time, every minute. Looking at the environments we're having, the world, the country, the industries, the difficulties, all the difficulties. I know it's not easy, but you have to concentrate on that and change your mindset so that at the end of the day, if everything bad happens, if everything goes wrong, everything goes bad, stay calm, take a shower, get your coffee, and then think about that. You, if not the rest, you have to stay positive, think positive. And this is something like you smile. If you smile, with that, you start to think positive. And if you think positive, you start to smile. And it goes vice versa. So I don't want to say, as I started, life is easy and business life is not easy at all, be sure. There are so many obstacles, so many barriers which may stay there to stop you, to create a burden for you. But maybe, as you said, we'll talk about trust and confidence later on, but confidence and self-confidence may help you in order to go over the barriers and obstacles. And confidence does not come as an easy wave on you. For that, as Sinem Hanım mentioned, you have to work. Curiosity may help you in order to learn, in order to be open your mind, to learn every day a new thing, every day, every minute. Nothing comes as free, so you have to spend time and effort in order to improve yourself, to develop yourself. And with that development, as you develop and as you increase your knowledge and your experience, confidence comes with that. Of course, you may fail. You may make mistakes, as Sinem Hanım mentioned. I did make a lot of mistakes, and but if you stay open to learn from your own mistakes, there's a saying: intelligent people learn from their mistakes, smart people learn from others' mistakes. Yes. So be open to learn from any experience, any mistakes, and open to ask again to learn from others' experiences as well. Sometimes as women we may have some barriers. I'm working in an environment I'm on the board of an American bank in Kyrgyzstan and Azerbaijan. There diversity is a new concept for the moment, which is true for maybe most of the emerging markets. I'm sitting on the board as the one and only woman, but I'm also helping all the potential women in order to create their own career path, in order to create have their self-confidence, because they have all the credentials, they have everything, but the men, sorry, I'm excluding the men all here, but some men, and they are not minorities, unfortunately, they just don't like to listen to you, and they just don't, as women, and they just don't create an environment, an aura around you, so that you stay calm and confident. So don't bother and don't listen to them, and just listen into your own voice, and believe in yourself. As long as you have the credentials, that first create the credentials, create the experience, create the knowledge, and then on top of it, stay strong on your with your own muscles in order to say no to the men if they disagree with you, or if they don't wanna listen to you. Yeah, there are.
Thank
okay.
you. Thank you. We have also heard your advice already. We have some, for sure, entrepreneurs among the audience. But thank you so much for this wonderful advice. So we have a time challenge. So I will quickly go back to Sinem Hanım.
Okay.
So what keeps you awake at night? Because there is this old transformation, confidence crisis, talent crisis. So as Meral just mentioned, it's not easy at all. It has never been, but today again we're going through some transformation processes. So left and right we have all sorts of challenges. But what keeps you awake at night?
Okay.
What are the challenges? Primary ones at least.
Okay, primary primary ones because I have so many ones. But let's take the two first primary one. I think we will all say the same. This is my assumption, of course, but number one is the talent crisis. It's not just in, I believe that it's not just in my company, not in KPMG, but I am sure that in all of the companies. And unfortunately, even in Turkey, we are feeling it a little bit more deeply because people are not just leaving the company, but the people, the talent is always leaving the country. So I think we must take this problem or we must take this as a crisis, not in just in our companies, but in a country level. So our government and I don't know, all of us should pay attention to this talent crisis because sometimes I feel that I do not have enough power to stop it as KPMG or as Sinem or as a manager or as a partner. I am not capable enough to stop it because it's something going out of my hands and I cannot stop it. So this is my number one, just to save time for you, because I can talk for hours and hours about the talent crisis. And number two, now we are in the Istanbul Fintech Week. And I am the Fintech and Digital Finance team leader in Turkey. So we are giving consultancy services to our clients. But the technology and the digital finance area is changing so rapidly, really so rapidly. The digital transformation is running. And as I am a consultant, I should be in front of my customers before they get to know about the change. So I must be faster than the change. So I think this is one of my challenges because I must learn everything and I must be able to be experienced enough to give consultancy to my clients. So I can say that these are my primary challenges, yes.
Thank you so much. So we will then come back to your advice just after. Pınar Hanım, so what keeps you awake at night? Of course, we have many challenges, but what would be on your agenda?
Okay, do you mind if I change the topic from challenges to opportunities?
Please,
and,
please.
The reason for
that would be a great
is,
mindset shift.
Yeah, just because it's not because I don't agree with the challenges. I mean, definitely we see the same thing. I also believe it's actually like talent challenges is global and it has a lot of it's multifaceted. It's not only about people leaving. It's also, frankly, skills challenges as well, like the mindset challenges. We have culture challenges, or all sorts of things like that. Because the world is changing. There are generational changes and so forth. But in some ways, this is actually quite exciting. And because the change now is coming to us rather than us trying to, as the people who has been in the industries that we operate in, rather than us really saying, okay, we're going to change this, we're going to do digital transformation, we will do that, and we take our time. And usually we are not very good at doing things unless we are disrupted. And I feel like we are disrupted in a very global sense, if it makes sense, and from talent to technology and so forth. So that means that we will need to actually do something about it. And I do believe in our ability as humans, honestly, is to actually really react to change very, very well when we need to, and stay resilient and really get out of it in a much stronger than before. And so that's why I think this is a huge opportunity for us. We'll, like the challenges that we are dealing with, like how do we engage our people more? I mean, many things that, frankly, some of us probably intrinsically have been thinking about through our careers, even before any of these things became a topic, are actually coming to us. They are being served to us almost. And so we need to do something about it. And I think that's an opportunity. And linked to that, frankly, I am also interested in the more the roots of these as well, even though, frankly, it's probably hard for us to really tackle everything. I mean, it really starts with the education. I mean, the mindset, again, the capabilities of the way that we are educated in our, it really doesn't matter which country you are in. needs to change, and so it goes with that. And then the way we hire, the way we implement new products, build new businesses, and all that kind of stuff. So I find that to be very exciting, actually, time to live for that reason. And
Thank you. Thank you. Great perspective. Thank you for that. So that must be the Caribbean sun. But thank you, definitely. So I will again very quickly come back to Meral Hanım. And so what keeps you awake at night? But of course it can be like we are living in interesting times, we could say. So please, if you could share.
Yeah, while we are talking about change, change brings risks together, and we have to be aware of the risks, but we have to be able to measure risks and then ready to take those measurable risks. Yes, this makes me awake every day, every year while we are talking about change. The world is changing so rapidly, so quickly. Every day a new thing happens. Ukraine, Russia, and US, Turkey. But if you think about a little bit further, what type of risks can come with that change, then you can have a plan B for each change which is coming and bringing struggles and obstacles to you. However, you may also be ready to change, adapt, and for this you have to play flexible on a flexible environment, on a flexible platform. So maybe shake and dance. Dancing is a good, yeah.
Surfing.
Exactly. Surfing in Caribbean, maybe in Jamaica. Pınar Hanım has a good alternative and opportunity for that. And agility, we are talking about nowadays a lot about agility, agile working environments, agile thinking, agile habits and attitudes may help us in order to recover these risks and volatile environment. I may say, and maybe a phoenix type of approach may also help while we are talking about opportunities. Yes, you may fail. Yes, you may fall down, but if you create your own motivation again and again, in order to restart yourself, that may help go on the road throughout that long marathon. If when I'm looking at the audience, we have so many young friends here. They have a long way to go. It's a long marathon, and this is why nobody will be there someday who may help to support you and to create your own motivation. This is why you have to be strong enough and ready to recharge yourself and, as I said, to create your own motivation always. This is what one of my managers told me during performance review, and I was a bit surprised and shocked while he said, "You are getting so quickly demotivated, and it takes me a long time to motivate yourself." And it was a big shock for myself. But then I sit and think about that, and yes, he was right. And the world was much easier, by the way, on those days in 1980s, while you were not around, maybe. But then I said, okay, this is a right comment. This is a good inspiration for myself. I'll be aware of that. I'll increase my awareness on this and work on it and do it. And I think it helped.
Rather than getting upset.
Exactly.
So it's then rebirth.
Exactly.
Reinventing oneself. So that's number one advice. Then we are quickly wrapping up. So what would be Sinem Hanım's advice to entrepreneurs, those who have the entrepreneurial spirit within the corporations and who would like to achieve more, realize their potential? So what would be your advice?
I was in the Is Digital Banking Possible panel in the morning, so I think I'm gonna say some of my sentences that I said in those panels. Nowadays, we are passing through times that the technology era, so there are so many endless opportunities. But on the other hand, I mean, everybody, every entrepreneur or every investment person should do their own homework to understand where is your opportunity stands. Because my opportunity or your opportunity can be different from each other. I mean, I am sorry, but some of the startups of today will not survive in the near future or will not be profitable. Some of us only will survive and will be profitable. So you need to find a way to get out of the others. I mean, you should not try to be just another one in the list. You should try to be the one that is going to survive and that's going to be profitable. And in order to do that, I think everybody should do his own homework, should do the market analysis, sector analysis, benchmarks, where is the opportunity stands for, what are the ups and downs or advantages or disadvantages, and the failure stories or the previous attempts and etc. And whenever you find the right solution for the right targeted audience, I think, I'm sure you will have a success story.
Thank you so much. So Pınar Hanım, what would be your advice? You have already shared some, but wrapping up.
Yeah, and also Sinem Hanım's advice is very much close to my advice, frankly, which is really find your edge, and it is valid for both the people who are in the corporations and being entrepreneurial or otherwise, or your career path, I think. Because there are certain things that you do that's uniquely better, like only you can do. And because of your background, your education, mindset, experience, whatever, it's a combination of things. So that edge is actually really, really important, and being very honest about it. And it's not we all do something better, and so there's nothing, no risk even thinking this way. By the way, I also want to say, everything that I heard in this panel from my co-panelists were amazing. I would really take each one of them as an advice, and almost like I was thinking, do a checklist or something like that. And it's really important. So really find your edge. There is a book recommendation I can actually give you, because I was actually thinking about this as I was thinking about this find your edge thing. How to be a founder. It's a recent book, and I don't have any relationship with the people who are writers, but of the book. But How to Be a Founder, I think, by Matt Clifford and Alice Benwick. Anyway, so it's a very, very interesting book. It's quite systematic, and maybe we may want to look at it.
Thank you so much. So Meral Hanım, final advice as wrapping up.
Maybe I just totally agree with what Pınar Hanım and Sinem Hanım said. I just want to underline integrity. not only in business world, everywhere, every time. There are so many bad examples around the world, in Turkey, outside of Turkey, in business life, that brings a challenge in front of you that may take you out of integrity and lose trust to you and your trust to the environment. Be very careful about that and stay in the center with your integrity, with your trust in yourself, trust in your company, trust in your team. Being a team leader needs trust into yourself. But if you don't trust your team, they may not trust to you as well. So this is, I think...
Can we even call faith, maybe? Having faith.
Yeah, exactly,
and,
exactly.
Instilling trust, both within oneself and with
definitely,
whoever we are touching.
Definitely,
fact,
totally agree.
Which is a big challenge actually today. So thank you for touching that. It's clearly that's how the confidence have actually is lowest quite. Of all times. So thank you.
I think it was Warren Buffett a few days ago. I read an article about him, and he said, if I'm looking for someone to hire, I'm looking for intelligence, I'm looking for experience and integrity. But if the third one fails, there's no the rest does not matter.
Does not work.
Does not work. Exactly.
So thank you very much. I don't know if we have any questions. We were a bit challenged with time, but we have great panelists here, wonderful experiences and great insight, really. So maybe a round of applause for our beautiful panelists with great experiences. And if you have questions, maybe we shall bring those questions later on. There is one.
I graduated from 4 years ago, but yeah, when I graduated, I was kind of lost and I didn't know that what to do. And maybe you have, some similar way. So how do you know that you said it's better to what you love? So how do you know that you love?
Good question. Good question. When I was graduated, I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know what I'm gonna not to do. And I said, it is banking. Then I at the end of the day, I was retired from Yapı Kredi Bank. Sorry, it's not easy, but you have to start from somewhere and then see what your talents are, what your abilities are, and what you really like. It's not easy from just, looking, watching some YouTube films and, okay, this is good, this is bad. Once you start, you know what to do. You have to spend some time, but don't worry, it's a long time, and it's a long journey, as I said. And don't think about that. If you start in a wrong direction or on a wrong way, don't think about that. You lose time while you're doing something which you will not continue at the end of the day. The learnings you got from it may help when you change your style, way, or direction, definitely.
And I can add also, we are running a potential analysis, potential assessment. So that is so important to have your self-assessment. It's like going to the doctors and having your checkup and review. And be, as Meral was mentioning, be your first talent responsible. So you have to manage your own talent. You have to identify your talent as early as possible. So it might be through experiences. Some corporations are helping with this, but take that responsibility and demand that. Whoever is interested to employ you. So please. And we can also support. you had...
I also. Thank you so much for the nice panel. I really got inspired, all of the words from you said. But still, I'm also an ex-banker. I used to work in a bank for 20 years, and then I see still, and today, Chris Skinner's photo of the bunch of CEOs from the banks, like, you know, the big guys, men with ties and black suits everywhere. And so you're one of the, you know, leading persons who really smashed that rule that is a men's club. No women entrance here, and you were one of the first CEOs in this finance sector, and it's very, really inspiring. So when we are going to see at least equal, you know, not one, two, just for examples, you know, because for the ESG measures, yes, they are putting someone or two women on the boards just to have, you know, sustainability and, you know, diversity issues, but that's not the case. So when you think the rules are going to break and we will see a lot of women, because they're in finance sector, we see like, you know, more than 50% of the employed are women, but as we go upwards, no women.
Disappearing.
No women instead. So this is really very discouraging, and this is really very frustrating, being as a woman in the space. And I'm really very hopeful in the future, as the new generations are going to take place here, with really open-minded, but I'm really worried that they also got, how can I say, like, poisoned. So, what do you think this is going to change? Now, right now, we are trying to change it. Everyone is doing this, but I don't think that the mindset still doesn't change at all.
Any answers?
Shall I try to take a stab at that as much as I can?
Yes.
Okay. So
Pınar Hanım has an answer, right?
Yes.
Sorry, I will not claim that I know when it will actually, you know, it will be all sold and much more equitable in terms of representation and so forth. But I think the change in the rankings, especially like through the entire organization, not only the kind of earlier stages in the career, but all the way to the top, and more equal representation is going to happen through, again, these digital change, like the changes of the generations and the culture and the digital, the necessity of needing to change, because not because we need to actually just involve more women in the senior rankings. It's just that it's actually a business impediment. And it's becoming, it already was, even 10, 20 years ago, maybe, I mean, and more, but it's now being unavailable. So you need to be actually, we need to be able to get, like the diversity and inclusion is a topic that is really a business impediment. Like we need to have different types of people at the very, very top. And it's coming because of the digital and the the geopolitical, all kinds of, like the fact that the world is changing. So we should really, I think, rely on that. So it's not because everybody is thinking we are going to be in an inorganic way, we will change these rankings, but it will be organically changing in an accelerated pace.
So it's not a luxury any longer. That's what we are saying. However, the talent crisis has reached to such a level. I can also add to Pınar Hanım's just what she has shared. So it's really beyond that. So we were actually just joking that whoever is breathing, we have to recruit.
Yes.
It's sort of the mindset attitude now. So it's no longer. But the thing is, again, back to all of our panelists as they shared, it takes two to tango. So you have to be self-confident. We have to be self-confident. So if we don't walk into that room, into that whatever environment, with that, having that competence, those credentials, then the confidence will not be there. So it's that virtuous cycle that Meral just explained. So the competence will build confidence, and confidence will, inshallah, build more competence. And that's hopefully how we will be recruited, or we will be chosen. In fact, we will be invited. But we have to also act with some collective wisdom and with some awareness and consciousness. The problem is there is no collaboration among women. Unfortunately. So we have to collaborate more. We have to create trust in
I think we are.
We have to. We
have to leave the room. We have to leave the room, I think.
So
Not a question.
answer. Just one answer, Demet Hanım.
Hi everyone. I'm Besta from Yazar Payment Solutions. So I'm just a newbie in the sector, just 1 year old. I just realized that I don't know anything, but I am self-confident to ask that, hey, I don't know. In case you call me stupid, in case you call me a newbie, but I'm self-confident to ask this to my, big boss people, male people. So I am also, emphasizing all my colleagues who are women that, hey, tell what you need to tell. So by this maybe just being present here, I would like to tell you that, we will be there.
Change is coming. So thank you very much. Again,
You must
Pınar
act
Hanım,
as
thank you so much.
change agents.
Meral Hanım, Sinem Hanım. So thank you so much
Thank you for listening.
wonderful insights, and hopefully we will take this to the future.